Hey there, and welcome to A Well-Rounded Life, the podcast, a space for creative entrepreneurs seeking an intentional life and biz filled with grace, passion, and purpose. I'm your host, Geomyra. I'm a mama, wife, dessert fanatic, and on the ultimate mission to get you closer to your idea of what it means to live a well-rounded life. Right here is where you'll find curated resources, quick tips, and relatable stories, no matter what season of life you're in. So hang out with me for a bit and let's dive in. Hey, well-rounders. Today is April 23rd, which means that today is a very special day for my family and I. Today is the day that my beloved mother was born 60 years ago. Although she is not with us physically, I can tell you one thing is for sure. Her presence is always felt. I wanted to do a special show to honor my mother on her 60th birthday because I know that if she were here with us, it would be one heck of a celebration in her honor in some way, even with everything going on in the world. That woman loved to party. She loved to celebrate life, and she just loved being surrounded by her family and her friends. So this episode is one that I hope my children, my nieces, and my nephews will look back on and learn a lot about their incredible grandmother and the life that she lived. To help me with today's episode, I invited my two sisters to join me as we share about our mom's life, her legacy, and the biggest lessons that we have learned from our mom. And there's even a cameo by my little niece. So grab a seat, friend, and spend some time with me and my family. Geonel and Melody, welcome to A Well-Rounded Life.
Hey.
Hey, sisters. Okay, ladies. So first, I want to thank you for agreeing to hang with me today. Originally, I had sat down to do the show solo, but then I got the idea to invite my siblings to join me for this episode. Our brother George, aka Lewis, is stationed in Germany and he wasn't able to join us, but we will get him on the show at another time. But I do have my two youngest, well, you're not the youngest, my two younger siblings, Geonel and Melody, joining me today. I'm the eldest of the gang, and then there's Geonel, who I affectionately call Shaniqua to her Hillary. So if you hear me use the name Shaniqua, I'm talking about Geonel. When we're together, we instantly are night and day, so you'll know that about us, and hence our nicknames. And I will say that my youngest of the group, Melody, and we are 7 years apart, and she's the baby of the family. She's the most chill personality, kindest heart, super funny, a true ride or die. So I love her to pieces. And then George falls in line. He is a year under Geonel. So Geonel and Melody are the, what numbers are you?
I'm the middle child.
And you are everything a middle child is. I'm 1, Geonel's 2, George is 3, and Melody is number 4. So it's 4 of us. All right. The thing is, it's funny because all of us are so different. We're so unique, but we do have this bond that continues to grow as we get older. And after everything that we have gone through as a family, I'm just so blessed that our bond continues to just grow stronger and stronger each year. Would y'all agree or no?
I agree.
Okay. I'm not by myself. All right. So, ladies, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you introduce yourselves to our well-rounders. Who wants to go first?
Geonel, aka Shaniqua, will go first.
Oh my gosh.
So, again, my name is Geonel and I am the middle child, mom's favorite. And I have 4 daughters, 14, 2, and twins that are 1. I am a business owner. I have my own childcare business. If you're looking for childcare.
Oh my gosh, next.
I love kids. That's my life. And yeah, I'm just great. But.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Hey guys, Melody. I am 28. I have a 16-month-old daughter, aka Zilla. She's out of control. I work for a law firm. I'm currently still working during this pandemic. Thank God. And I love my siblings.
We'll take it. They're outside, so you might hear like birds chirping because they're sitting together and they have how many kids between y'all? 5. 5 girls. So they're all hanging out. And so I decided that it would be awesome if I could see them both together, which is rare. And so we are going to just have some little girl time, sister time. All right. So another question I have for you guys, because clearly the audience doesn't know our mom. Some people did. Some people knew our mom. How would you describe our mother in a few words?
Amazing. Honestly, amazing.
Strong,
Yeah.
very strong.
Everything.
Hard worker. I feel as though I didn't work for anything. None of her kids did, I feel.
No, you're right. We didn't. Very much spoiled we were by her.
Yeah, blessed, period. Anybody who got to interact or meet her or stay at her house, as though this was what we call the shelter at times. Yeah,
Took
it was a
everybody in.
blessing for anybody to have, come across her ever in life.
Yeah. Someone described her as a rare gem in that she was, to know her was to love her. So to be the product of her, I know the 3 of us girls and our brother feel blessed that she was our mom. And so the theme of the show is we're going to share some of the words of wisdom that our mom left with us. And the thing is, she said so many gems that I find myself as a mom saying to my kids, and people say, oh my gosh, you're turning into your mother. Yep, that's me basically. And so my sisters and I, we chatted and we came up with our list of 6 things that we felt like our mom said a lot. And so we are going to share those with you guys. I'm going to start with one of the 6. So one of the life lessons and words of wisdom that our mom would say all the time is people will do what you allow them to do. And she also would, in that, she would also say people would spend their money on what they want to spend their money on, and people would spend their time on what they wanted to spend their time on. And, you hear it and you're like, whatever. But when you become an adult and you realize that people will do what you allow them to do, in the sense of if you allow people to treat you a certain way, walk all over you, disrespect you, or any of that, you realize, like I realize now that she was saying that you have the power. You have the power to not put yourself in situations. You have the power to demand respect, and you have the power to take yourself out of situations and not be around people that are toxic as well. And then going back to it about people spend their money and time, for us, it's like, all right, we want to go here, we want to do this. And you have people that are like, nah, we're good. I don't want to spend my money and time there. But then you'll go on social media and you'll see your friends spending money or doing certain things. And you're like, well, gosh, I thought you didn't have, or I thought whatever. But as she used to say, people will spend their time and their money on what suits them. Would y'all agree?
Yep. Totally agree.
I agree.
Definitely have experienced that as an adult.
Mm-hmm. Number 2, Mel, you want to take number 2? What we have?
Sure. Number 2 is you can show them better than you can tell them.
Oh gosh.
I find myself using that currently in my life. I hear it all the time in my head. And it's the best advice I probably could have gotten. Definitely show somebody better than you can tell them.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's like people say they're going to do this, people are going to say they're going to do that, and talk is cheap. And so she would always remind us, like, don't get hung up on telling people what you say you're going to do, or sometimes people say they have promises that they're going to make, and talk is cheap. You just need to show up and show them. And so I'm with you. I'm starting to see that as I get older as well.
Show up and show out.
Ooh, that's good. I love it. Number 3, I'll take 3. Don't start something you can't finish. And when she said it to me at the time, she said it around the time when I was about to get married. And she said it in the sense of, ladies that are out there listening, and guys, if you are courting somebody and you are trying to like woo them, and you have, even if they're business, if you have a client or somebody that you're trying to impress and you make all these promises to, if you say you're going to do it, then you need to do it. So if you know you're not going to be able to take care of somebody in the way that you're promising them, or deliver on something that you say you're going to deliver, then don't start it. Don't do it. And so I realized that when I was becoming a lady and a wife, that she was like, listen, you got him, you take care of him. So don't start doing all these things and cooking and cleaning and doing all that and then get lazy and tired. And so I feel like that's why I continue to do what I do and take care of the people around me in that same way.
God won't put more on you than you can handle.
Yes.
Definitely. I know for me, when I was having my first daughter and we had a conversation, I was just like, oh man, I'm so young. I mean, I was out of high school, but I was still young. And she just was saying that, God doesn't put more on you than you can handle. And you always have family and you always have me. And look, she's going to be taken care of regardless. So I was like,
Facts.
just even now, and I tell my friends the same thing or if they're going through something or they have some type of issue. And I'm just like, I use that same phrase all the time. And then I have to tell myself that sometimes too, getting that moment where you feel overwhelmed or, something isn't going your way or why is this happening to me or something like that. Yeah, definitely hear that in my head.
I think the other part is when she was going through her chemo treatments, she would say that, like, she was coaching herself and reminding herself of that. God is not going to give her more than she could handle. She was very much a religious, spiritual, positive person. And so she always just would say, God won't put more on you than you can handle. And that struggle that she was the struggle that she was dealing with would just be a part of her testimony, because she always felt positive that everything would work out. And even though things didn't work out the way we wanted them to, I feel that they work out in the way that they were supposed to, and that we're still okay. Are you crying?
Yeah, she is. Can I
Just a little.
Can we get some tissue for the baby?
Oh,
I was
pull it,
young.
pull it together. Yeah, yeah. How old were you?
Don't start.
And I hear all these things.
Yeah,
I live by it today. All of these sayings.
yeah. How old were you again? Because my brain can't do the math.
I was 23, 24.
I had just turned 18.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was the oldest at 26.
You must have been 26, Mariah. Yeah, I think I was 24. Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the baby of the family who we just love so much was a you,
Oh, you always I don't go on you.
yeah, we're not gonna talk about those years.
Not me.
Anyway,
what's the next lesson you remember?
Ooh, baby, this is it right here.
Oh gosh.
Don't depend on a man for nothing. I should have that written across my forehead, okay? But she's always taught us just from growing up. She pretty much raised us on her own. And, we never wanted for anything. And she just always told us, don't depend on a man for anything. Had us outside taking the trash out. Y'all gonna do this. Y'all gonna cook. Mind you, I ain't learned how to cook till later on. But
she still don't know how to cook.
Let's put that on the record. She's crying now.
Listen,
she's crying.
Told us, like, if you get it done, you don't depend on anybody. It ain't just a man, just anybody on getting anything done.
I would say that we are all very independent in the sense of she raised us to be able to go out into the world on our own. We're fortunate that we do have partners and people in our corner, but I do feel confident that she raised daughters that are very independent, self-sufficient, and represent what she was able to do. We're the fruits of her labor, where she figured it out on her own and gave us the tools and resources to be able to do the same thing if we were ever in a situation to have to do that. What's our last lesson?
Baby, you can roll them, but you can't shoot them.
First of all, I don't remember.
I bet you don't.
I don't remember that one.
I bet y'all don't.
Okay, would you like to help? Because that's on your list of words of wisdom.
Whenever she says something, you ain't like it, you better not roll your eyes, because she would.
Oh, I remember now. Because you
might be like, man, shut up in my head.
You used to roll your eyes like you ain't had no damn sense.
No, man, she was.
Because you were the rebel.
From behind her.
The rebel would roll her eyes. So when she said it,
I hear that in my head now. I'd be like, oh.
I remember
I hear her say that one more time. I wouldn't be mad. But gosh, man.
She would basically that was her threat, her Claire Huxtable threat of, yeah, you can roll them eyes, but shoot them over here if you want to. Yeah. But try me if you want to. You will not have life.
My mom has been deceased for years, and I'm still scared.
Listen, I
Shoot,
tell
I be
people
like,
all
look at
the time.
tattoo out here, be like,
Are you watching me?
oh,
Oh,
don't get no more tattoos. I'd be like,
I know. You got one tattoo and
oh,
that was enough.
y'all gotta
Now
have
you got a whole sleeve and a whole back and a whole everything else. And every time you go get another tattoo,
I just hear her saying,
yeah,
hurry up.
she's watching me. But no, now I remember. I remember now because she used to give you that look, like try me if you want to.
Mhm.
And I think that was reserved for you because we weren't about that life. We were scared.
I would too. I just wasn't gonna show y'all.
When you think back to the mother that raised us, what did you learn from her parenting that you plan to implement or already have implemented with your gang of children?
You ain't gotta say gang. I gotta. Okay.
Respect.
I just get from her just getting it done. Like no, like I said, it was we were always raised, and then with Diego as well as a sibling,
Mhm.
that just get it done. Like it's not an option.
I think for me, I don't know. I think with me having Peyton, when we found out that our mom had cancer 4 days before Peyton was born, and then she passed 8 months later. And so for me, I realized in that moment that everything that she had taught me was preparing me for the moment to kind of just take the baton and help with my siblings because they were a lot younger. And then the other side of it is I had just become a mother. And so legit everything that she had taught me, I was trying to like soak up so that I could be just even half of the mom that she was to us. But I think for when I look back at the type of woman that she was, independence, like I'm really trying hard to make it so that Peyton just is responsible. She knows how to clean. She knows how to cook. She knows how to talk to people. She uses her manners and those type of things because I feel sometimes those things are lost. But I do think those are things that will set children apart if you teach them those foundational things. And she worked really hard to make sure that we did have manners and we did know how to treat people when we showed up in the world. Like I look back at her life and I think about love, like how she loved, how she was loved. I think about how she showed up in the world, how she overcame certain adversities. I think about those type of things, and I've learned a lot just by watching how people treated her and what I will and won't accept. I learned a lot about the type of professional I wanted to be. So just overall, like when you look back at her as a woman and now that you're, an adult woman, what are some things that you took away?
With dealing with life, I mean, again, I'm just gonna jump into the cancer part of it because, like I said,
Wait, before we go there, I have one thing. I don't think that I've ever seen her miss a work day. You get up and you go to work and you get it done. And you better not have nobody call you.
Or my good government job. Yeah, listen.
Go to work.
no, y'all not calling me on my good government
No
job.
matter what you did the night before, but you get up and you go to
Oh
work.
my gosh, yeah.
Fact. We would
What the fuck you
call
calling you
and complain, like tell on each other. And she's like, I
You
know.
won't let me put mushrooms in the spaghetti sauce.
Me and Janelle, we got in a physical altercation because I was making spaghetti dinner because I cook and she doesn't. But yet she wants to put mushrooms in my dish. And we legit got in a physical altercation with spaghetti splashed across the floor in noodles. And one of the other siblings called and she's like, hold up. Y'all just called me on my good government job about this nonsense? So, yeah. But to Melody's point, I don't care if you partied the night before because our mom was a partier. I don't care if you out with your boo, you go to work the next day.
If you sick and you wake up sick and you gotta go to school, let the nurse call me and tell me you sick. You going in there. We all had citizenship, perfect attendance.
Yeah, she was not
We
playing.
can go in there with a broke foot. You better let the nurse call you. She did
Yeah.
not play about school. Don't come in
She
that
did
house with
not.
nothing less than a B. That's how I'd be like, ooh, baby.
But yet you came back
Yeah, shut up. I had honor roll, first of all. Don't come for me.
once in your life.
Come back with anything less. Okay?
Once in your life. How was it?
Shut up, Jamar.
Oh, you were gonna say something about her breast cancer struggle.
Yeah, as far as the cancer part, said we were all just shocked when we found out, and then for things to happen so fast, I think we didn't have time. I still feel like, at times we didn't have time to be there for her. Like, I think, I'm not going to say that she wanted us to be, because she kept a lot of things to herself. And, I always say to myself, I don't understand how she kept all this to herself and didn't tell people she was as sick as she was, until the doctors came, on her last day, and told her they knew everything about us. They knew who we were, our ages. They said she was the strongest person they've ever met, and that, she knew how sick she was, but she just didn't want her kids or her mother to be worried. So for somebody to have all that on their plate, and, just take it in and still have a smile on her face, planning parties the week before, not even the week before she passed, to make sure that her sister and her, and her nephew had a birthday party. It just was like, again, you just don't realize how strong somebody is until you've actually seen them go through a struggle like that.
Right. I will say that, yeah, she kept a lot of the bad away, but she also threw subliminals so that we were trying to prepare. She would make a hint like, hey, we need to finish my will. And I'm like, what? I don't want to work on this right now. But it was like, you're going to do what I tell you to do. And like my sister said, as adults, we were still going to be scared of her because she could be your best friend, but then she could make your life hell if you played around and didn't do the things you were supposed to do as well.
Yeah, I just like, it's just amazing to find out later on, like everything she went through, even being here and her saying, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay. And then probably being scared that, any day can be your last day. It just, it's still scary to go back and think about.
Mm-hmm. And the whole process and how everything played out. But when you think about the alternative of if she would have told us, then things could have went a whole nother way. And I'm sure she thought about it and played it out and chose that as her option as a mama bear, so that she felt we were taken care of in that situation and that we could still be parents and wives and all the things we needed to be as well, to kind of keep it moving. I will say that. What is a fond memory or two that you have of her that is imprinted in your heart forever?
I would have to say what jumped out at me with the question was when I delivered Amari, her first grandchild.
Oh my gosh, stop.
First,
Really?
her first grandchild, and just seeing her cry and be so excited. And any of my friends, they still be like, oh, that was Miss Tiki's baby. Mari was Miss Tiki's baby. That was like her baby. Just the connection that they had from when I found out, I was pregnant. I was just like literally up under her from then. She was at every appointment, sonograms, delivery, and just right there. That's a memory that jumps out at me.
Oh, I got a story for that. You remember when you brought Amari home in the snowstorm?
And she slipped outside. It was snowing in February, blizzard damn near. And we get here and she called herself trying to sweep the shovel to drive.
Yep.
And all you saw was her legs go up in the air. We ain't have no electricity, no nothing when we got out.
Power was out, and she was so determined, and we couldn't stop laughing. And I think she got mad at us.
Oh my gosh, man.
Oh man, that was fun. Let me see if I have a memory that stands out. Ooh, let me think. So many memories. I know one. On my wedding day, I have a picture of us.
I knew you were going to the wedding day.
Why? Why do you say that?
There was so many, fields of that around that time. I knew you were going there.
Yeah, that journey was a lot. And I say it in a positive, it's very positive. But at that time, I know my mom busted her behind to give me the wedding of not only my dreams, but her dreams. Let me just put that out there too, because we've thought about some wedding related stuff, the things that she had to have in the surprises. But let me tell you, I have a picture of us, my mom and I, dancing together at the wedding that I treasure forever. And she just had this megawatt smile, being surrounded by her family and her friends. And we just had the best night. That was like the hands down, like the best party ever. But I know for her, like seeing everything come together, because she also worked with me in my wedding planning business at the time. So seeing our event like come together, me getting married into Phil's family, and then us getting his family, because my husband's mom and my mom were best friends. at that point. So both families worked really hard to give us the wedding that we wanted. I just know that meant so much to her that as a single parent, she was able to give us this amazing event. And that was just so much fun. And, the adversity to get there and the drama with my father beforehand, aka Geonel's dad. That's another story, another podcast.
Lord.
And how
That's
we
fired.
pew pew. And just how she just stepped up and reminded me that she was everything and more that we needed. So I will
I
take
got one more, I know people always like, oh, y'all always having gatherings and y'all always having stuff. And she was one for celebrating any event, big or small, no matter what it was. Like,
that.
oh, you lost your tooth? Oh, we're going to have a party. Like it was always something to be celebrated. And she just wanted everybody recognized. And even we look forward to the weekends because on Fridays, when after the good government job closed, and she would order her Chinese food and order her four, people be like, you always order a bunch of food with Chinese. Listen, I don't know what I want at the time. So my mom used to order like 4 or 5 things. Miss Kim used to come over. They used to have a little gin and juice and their little Miller Lite beers. And Miss Kim would stay the whole weekend. And it was just always like the weekends were just like family, and the door was always open. So, those are times that you really miss, and you just miss her entertaining and people always coming by, because I'm in the house now where she was, and people don't like coming by because it makes them miss her. It makes
Raise his hand.
yeah, and it just people get emotional and they can't come in or stuff like that because this was the house that Tiki built. And so yeah, just another
Yeah.
thing that stood out to me, a memory.
Yeah, we had in high school.
That stood out to
Hold on real quick. To piggyback off of that, in high school, we were all 1 year apart in high school, like steps ladder, or however you say it. We had a party every week, every Friday. We had a party. It was every grade and the high school represented was at a party. And my mom's her theory was if she knew where we was, she felt safe. And so she allowed us to be home with our friends and music and just having a good time. Mel, do you have a fond memory that stands out when you think about our mom?
Yeah, I really enjoyed our vacations.
Mm.
That stood out a lot to me.
Yeah.
The long 12-hour, 13-hour drives.
To Florida? Yep. Those are good. I think that's where we get our love of travel, is because we had parents that love to travel. Like my mom and my stepdad, and when they
Kids
were,
the world. If you have it, do it.
yeah, we would travel.
I think one thing I learned from her too is to trust God. You just have to trust God, and you got to trust what's going to happen is going to happen. So I think that's one big thing that I've, even if you're scared or doesn't matter what's going on, you got to trust.
Facts. I agree. On this show, you guys listen and you know that we don't believe in the word balance. We have always been a family oriented unit, and we were raised by someone who was always on the go. Based on your definition of being well rounded, do you feel our mom lived a well rounded life?
Yes.
I do.
Yeah, she definitely did. She handled everything, whether it was big or small, you would never know. I just think you would think, again, she was super, as Lewis always says, mommy was superwoman. Like
Yeah,
she really
our
got
father does
the
say that.
job done. And he always called her the GOAT or superwoman. And she's a prime example of what I try to be. And especially, I have 4 girls, definitely is something what would mommy do in this situation?
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I agree. I think she partied hard, worked hard, traveled well. She would do things with her friends, her girlfriends. She's the reason why I keep my girl unit tight and solid as well, because she definitely had her girl tribe and had the best time traveling with them and spending time with them as well. All right, ladies. So, my last question is, what are you most looking forward to in this season of your lives?
I'm just looking for growth. Travel a little bit more. Daughter has some exciting things on her plate that have yet to be announced yet. No, she's not pregnant.
I'm about to say, whoa, Slim, the way you just said that.
Who my
I
mom
know what they are, but
is.
yeah, let's fix that.
Just growth. And like I said, I told myself in 2020, I just wanted this year to be happy, stress-free, and even with the pandemic that's going on right now, blessed, and continue to be happy and save for my children's future. And yeah, I mean, Eventually, I may get married. If somebody gets lucky enough.
Wow.
But
She laughed at you too.
I always say whatever happens, happens. Just take it one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
As long as my kids are happy and we have a roof over our heads, we're good.
I agree.
And my siblings, I guess. I'll put you guys in that equation.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
I think I'm looking forward to growth too, being more stable in every way. Hopefully, being able to travel.
I know, right? Don't we want to go somewhere?
Right, I'm not looking there right now, but
All of us. Yeah.
being able to travel more. I think right now I'm looking forward to the most is just being more stable. Almost there, almost there, and so I'm excited.
Good.
Excited to raise my child.
Oh, she said.
She made a little debut.
Yeah. She is spoiled rotten, hence why she is now on her lap. This is what we call rapid fire, which is quick, whatever is on your mind, the first thing, first answer. Let me have it. Okay, ladies, what have you learned about yourself during quarantine?
I've honestly learned that I think I needed this break. Sometimes you don't know how busy you are until you sit back and think like, whoa, I was doing this or that. With this pandemic going on, that I think everybody needed a break. I think it's God saying be still. We just definitely, everybody all the way around needed the break. I'm with my kids every day, all day. Now that I don't have any other, not I don't have as many kids around. I'm like, my kids are really this turn. Like,
Turn all the way
I may need
up.
a break from them in a minute. But yeah, this is definitely an eye opener and definitely a breath of fresh air at this point.
Mel?
I think I've learned to slow down, have a little bit more patience. And one thing I learned is if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Facts. That's another one. That's a good one. Because we all had a whole lot of plans that got canceled. Okay. Next question. What is your favorite food?
Chicken.
Alfredo, like a seafood Alfredo any day.
We know. We know.
Watch it.
You're stuck on an island. What are 3 things you must have and you can't take your kids?
My phone, a man, if he lucky.
Oh my gosh.
Can't take my kids. I don't even know if I have
You
to have
couldn't even take all of them.
If you're listening to this, she is lying. No, maybe a few tunes or something. Alcohol. As long as it's alcohol, drink your drink.
Wow. That's all. Your life is all about your kids. I will give it to you. Melody, where you taking?
What you taking?
Does it have to be censored?
Oh,
Okay, we're going to skip this question for her.
extracurricular.
We're going to switch. We're going to move on.
Ooh, next
What?
question.
What is a misconception that people have about you that you think?
That I'm mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm mean.
That you're at like
I think everybody
not.
just think I'm great, so I can't.
Next.
Okay.
No.
I know. Niece says no. That's really what your answer is going to be?
Who, me?
You know.
I think I'm fabulous.
Everyone thinks you're great.
If they don't, then something wrong with
Your
them.
niece doesn't like you, so.
All right. Next question. If you could meet anyone in the world, who would it be?
Beyonce, hands down.
Sam Smith.
Hey, that's
Oh,
interesting.
interesting. I would have never guessed that. If you could learn any skill in the world, what would it be?
Oh, I'm just so skilled. I would like to.
Wow.
I mean, I can cook. I can cook to save our lives. I don't want to bake no cakes. I'm gonna die. But I ain't never been asked.
I know. You wish you could sing.
Listen, I got a few notes, but
That would be your skill because
I
you
don't
swear you
know.
Mariah Carey.
Skill?
You swear you Mariah.
I don't know.
No, Mom.
I can't even. I have to think about that. Honestly, a skill.
Wow, you're so skilled. How about
What's your skill?
my skill? Ooh, what could I wish I knew how to do?
Yeah,
I wish I knew how to make millions anytime I just wanted to make millions.
Keep hope alive.
Oh, you suck.
I think I want to learn how to draw.
Draw,
Oh, that's a good one.
I guess.
She crushing you with the answers, by the way.
If you want to be an architect, stand behind you.
Huh?
This is a podcast. This is not Jerry Springer.
Oh,
Did you just say this is a podcast? This is not Jerry Springer?
Yeah. I
Wow.
don't know what she thought she was.
All right, what's your guilty pleasure?
you know mine.
Next. I
Tattoo.
can't.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you love your
Tattoo is kind of an addiction. I don't know. My guilty pleasure is kids. Like if I could, I love babies. If I could keep having kids and they
Oh.
I would do that.
Won't
I
you
love
go
that.
work at a hospital and take care of babies?
No.
Mm-mm.
I used to, my first job, I wanted to be a NICU nurse. I really did. 'Cause I love babies so much, and I just really wanted to be there as a nurturing hand, I
Yeah,
really wanted to be a NICU nurse.
you still have time. It's possible. What is something on your bucket list?
I would like to travel back to, because Mommy used to love Aruba, and I know we went there on a cruise. And I do want to go and experience Aruba for longer than the little drop-off time they gave us.
Our mom lived in Aruba for like 6 months when I was in what grade was I? 7th grade?
Yep.
For her job. She went there for 6 months and our dad held us down and she loved Aruba so very much. That was her spot. Mel, what's on your bucket list?
Deep sea diving.
Adventurous.
That makes sense. Side note, she is also a swim instructor lifeguard. I just learned how to swim a few months ago. But yet my sister is a swim instructor and is a fish in the water. So of course it would make sense for you to want to do that. All right. Thank you, Nell and Mel, for hanging out with me in our Well-Rounders today. I sincerely appreciate you guys showing up for me always. You always hold me down. My prayer is that our mother is smiling down on us, that she is proud, and that we continue to honor her life and her legacy. And friends, since you are tuned in today, do us a favor and screenshot and tag at Coach for Creatives and share over on IG and Facebook. Family, if you are listening, say hi. Let us know that you are also tuned in. We appreciate you guys. Love that you hung out with us today in our sister circle. And if you are new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss a single episode. Lastly, friends and fam, make sure you have left us a 5-star rating and dropped us a review over on Apple Podcasts. The link is in the show notes, and I would be most grateful for you. Until next time, friends, grab a cocktail and let's celebrate the people in our lives that matter most to us. Happy birthday, Mom. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Geonel, you're not going to say bye?
Toodles.
Bye, guys.
Friends, thanks for kicking it with us this week. Remember to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode airs. I'd love it if you leave us a review and share this goodness with your squad. Until next time, seek a well-rounded life and remember to focus on what matters most.